People don't realize is like, I know I don't have the answers, and I don't have time to wait around and spend my entire life trying to figure them out when I know someone else already has those answers and they can just tell me.
Yeah.
And why would I not be willing to spend whatever time and whatever capital that took to go get those answers? It has just made perfect sense to me. And so I think reason why people get bad taste around coaching and mentoring is because there's a lot of bad coaches and mentors out there, or people who had big promises and didn't fulfill. I get that. But I'm just saying it doesn't negate the fact that we need teachers in our lives to help guide and direct and give us the shortcuts.
I think all of that, the foundation, I think is critical too. I've just had some meetings today too, where people are really striving for deals. And these are people outside of our community. They really want to be part of something. They want to be able to break through those strongholds, those negative beliefs, but they also want to be doing things for a greater purpose. Even if they don't, believe in the Christian faith, they still have an internal desire to do something bigger. And I think just the things that you point to just gives us that eternal energy source that we can turn to and realize, like, if Christ died for us, that means I'm special. And if I'm special, what am I here for? What's my purpose? And it wasn't just to count down the clock. Like, I'm here to make a difference.
Yeah. 100%, man. Number 3, I'll keep going. And yeah, let's keep going on these. Number 3, we don't want, so these are, again, but just so everyone knows, these are the 5 things. This is number 3 of what keeps us, when we're talking about really forming this belief, having this faith, and that shaping and informing the way that we live and act as kingdom successful entrepreneurs. Here are the things that get in the way of that. Number 3 is that we don't want or won't allow others to be our teacher. And so maybe you're listening to this. If you've gotten this far, you're probably somewhat interested in what we have to say. But some folks probably, when I say coaching program, they're like, next episode. And like, listen, if you guys knew, I'm not going to share how much I've invested in coaching and mentoring this year. Because again, like, I know I would be judged for how much, like, it would be like, you know what I mean? People would be like, oh, he's not a good steward of his money. If people knew literally how much, but it's because what people don't realize is, like, I know I don't have the answers, and I don't have time to wait around and spend my entire life trying to figure them out when I know someone else already has those answers and they can just tell me.
Yeah.
And why would I not be willing to spend whatever time and whatever capital that took to go get those answers? It has just made perfect sense to me. And so I think reason why people get bad taste around coaching and mentoring is because there's a lot of bad coaches and mentors out there, or people who had big promises and didn't fulfill. I get that. But I'm just saying it doesn't negate the fact that we need teachers in our lives to help guide and direct and give us the shortcuts. And hopefully over 9 weeks, I'm not promising everything to you, but I can give you some shortcuts that will help you begin to look at bigger deals and begin to navigate your way into this world of commercial real estate so that you can honestly quit playing small in 2022. And so if you learn one thing that lands you into a deal in the next 12 months, I can assure you, for what we're charging for this, it will be well worth it. So that's number 3, man. Let's talk about number 4. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. The people around you not believing. So this was, like, I feel like the one that ruffled everybody's feathers back in whenever we did this August was, sometimes it's the people that are closest to you that don't believe. Your spouse, your children, your parents. And, how do you not share these desires and these beliefs and these callings to the people that you're most close with? That can be tough. And so I don't know if you remember a whole lot of what others were saying then, but I think number 4, man, can be a big barrier for folks, because the people you're closest to sometimes aren't on board with this either.
And I think you touched on it too, is a lot of us grew up in the church, and we've misconstrued where we're supposed to be. We've got two schools. One is that we're supposed to be in the world, but not of the world. And the other one is that the root of evil is money. And it's like, that's not the case. We are supposed to be leaders and influencers and movers and shakers in the kingdom. But we're also supposed to use money, not as an idol, but as a tool, as a mechanism, like you said, to let's make $10 million so that we can give away, as much as we can possibly give away. I know Rick Warren and some of these leaders have really set the bar high, and they've challenged God. Like, how much can I give away? Can I give away 90% of my income and keep 10%? Let's see what God does. And it's been incredible to watch some of these people do amazing things that have really defied logic. And I think too, like for us to defy the poverty mentality that some of us have grown up in, and defy that generational poverty that we've grown up in, and to really defy the entire American dream, which sometimes is like just get a Chevrolet and Maytag and then retire broke. Well, that's not a great American dream.
Yeah. One of the things, man, too, like this is the one I sympathize with the most, because like this has been real for me, is that I went from pastor to entrepreneur real quick. And I just don't feel like I ever gave my wife time to catch up. And so, that caused some tension and caused some rub. And so what I realized really quickly is that the reason me and my wife weren't on the same page was not her fault. And this is what everybody's got to realize. If you're really trying to lead your family into something bigger, is, the fact that they're not on the same page with you is not their fault. It's your fault that you haven't brought them into this journey with you. And so I can say that boldly because I messed that up. I just want everyone to hear that really clearly. That lesson was not something I had to observe from others. That was like number 4. This is the one Ellis really screwed up, by the way. And, one of the things that me and my wife done differently, and that's really helped us, is we started changing the way that we do a budget. And so most people will look at the budget and say, okay, well, how much money are we going to make this year? And here's what we need to budget in order to do that. Well, what my wife and I started doing is saying, what do we want to accomplish this year? Like, what do we actually want to do? Where do we want to go? Who do we want to see? What do we want to give? And then how much do we actually need to make in order to go do that? And that, I have no idea if we'll hit that. Like, who knows? But what's cool about that, and don't get me wrong, we follow but like we know what we're spending too. But just that little change of like when we sit down earlier in the year and begin to think about our budget, it allows us to, instead of thinking of like, oh, we're only going to make this much this year, so we can only spend this much. It gives us the mindset of like, we need to go create together as a family this much so that we can go do this much. And that just helps us spur on more conversations together. Like, yeah, I know you have a job. I know I have a job. I know your salary is set at this, but what about other things we can do together, right? If we really want to go really make this happen, what's that going to take? And it can be fun. Like, it can be fun to think about how we create. And then we look forward to having kids, more kids one day. And as they get older, to have these conversations and help them think about, hey, you want to go, travel the world, or go, give to this ministry, or, go help in this country, or whatever it is. Like, most people would say, well, just go work hard, save your money. And what I want to teach them is, how do you create enough value in the world that someone would pay you money this year so that you can go accomplish that? It's a totally different way of thinking. Yeah. And it is something that, again, it starts with belief. So that's number 4, man. And for sake of time here, because I know we both got to get out of here soon, I want people to get this, is number 5 is not being around can-do people full of faith. We made the example, use a funny example of like try and not see something or think something negative for the next 24 hours. By the way, I always give this. If you can go full 24 hours without seeing something negative in the news or thinking something negative, we will comp this entire 9-week coaching program for you for free, because we have something to, like, I want to know what you did. Like, and if you have the discipline just to sit in your room for 24 hours, I would still be amazed. But you would be a liar if you said you didn't have one negative thought those whole 24 hours, because it's impossible, man.
Right.
Like, negativity is everywhere. And so, dude, what I want to just encourage people, like, we're talking about what we're trying to launch with Kingdom REI is an accelerator program. It's not a huge, full year coaching thing. We just want to give you what you need in the shortest amount of time to help you grow and do something big so that we can partner together in the future. I want to put you around people who are thinking positive, who have massive belief, who love God, and are using the vehicle of real estate to accomplish massive things. And if you want to be a part of something like that for the end of the year, come join us. thekingdomrei.com/coaching. I think we'll have a lot of fun together. And if you really take this thing seriously and do the things that we're going to talk about and take the steps that are necessary, we might even partner on deals. I mean, that's really why I'm doing this, Pete. It's not because I care about building a big coaching program. It's not, how much we're charging for this. I'm not even like, we're not even really making money on this thing. It's like, we want to build people up so that we can accomplish something bigger together in the new year. And I know that if you don't have the foundation and the skills to be able to think like that and go do that, then we'll never be able to partner together. And so if I can accelerate, that's why it's called the accelerator program, your path into believing like this, into thinking like this, and then going to do bigger deals, then together we can have a much bigger kingdom impact. And I really do mean that by kingdom impact, because what we're trying to accomplish is not about just buying yachts or living in nice apartments or whatever, which, again, not against those things. I like to have a yacht, but it goes far beyond that. And anyways, Pete, I appreciate you just kind of pulling some of this out of me today, man. Anything else to just kind of recap this before we get out?
I think you continually just hit all these buzzwords that really are, help our community. And I think, like you said, the thing that excites me is not only do we want to be surrounded by people, not only is this an incredible opportunity for people to learn, but I think the exciting thing is to sit back and watch all these people come into this coaching program, this accelerator program, and to watch their light turn on. And it's like now that aha moment happens, and then the multiplier effect starts to kick in, and you realize, like, lives are changing, relationships are changing, communities are changing, financial structures are changing in people's lives, and that legacy wealth, like, we're creating a snowball effect. So I really encourage people to come join this, because it will impact you in ways that you never thought it would. And once you open up your eyes, you see what other people are doing, you realize that it's not out of reach for you, it's within reach. And you get guys like Ellis that are willing to put aside time and really spend time trying to sow seeds into the kingdom, sow seeds into your life, and help you learn, give you those shortcuts to success. These are just nuggets of value that you can't not want to do it. So I encourage everyone just to partake.
Yeah, man, that's a good word. That's a good final word. I was even hesitant about sharing a lot of this today. I was hesitant when I shared it the first time, because I know it's going to come off as a lot of things that I'm not about. And sometimes I just say things that people take the wrong way. And I just have to remember, and what I'm trying to just find is my tribe. Mm-hmm. And if you listen this long, then it's probably resonating with you. You should probably come check it out. But I just think I also had to be okay with that. Of like I know that this will also turn people off, and even thinking about doing something bigger or accomplishing more is going to be perceived as one way, and I'm okay with that too. And what I hope is that when we are able to accomplish something bigger together and have the type of kingdom impact that we desire to have, then we can show folks, like, this is what we're talking about. And this is why we're trying to live our lives in such a way, so that we can be a testimony of the God that we serve and the value that He's placed in our lives. And so, anyways, dude, I appreciate this, man. Loved hanging out. Guys, thekingdomrei.com/coaching if you want more of this. And See you next week. Thanks, Pete.
Don't miss it. See y'all.
Ciao.